Jeff will activate Hissing Quagmire. So Brad will block the land, spend an energy to crack Woodweaver's Puzzleknot, bringing him now up to 16 energy. But Jeff connects with Grimflayer, which means he'll get a trigger. And 3 more. We see 2 lands and a spell. Jeff will keep some of these on top. Replays the land. He lost one off Hissing Quagmire. And Brad draws the Marvel. And now immediately taps it. Top 6 cards, gets 1 for free. Does he hit Emrakul? I don't believe so, but he does hit another Aetherworks Marvel, so he can just spin it again if he wants.
All right, yeah, that'll get him 2 energy back. That'll put him up to 2 full activations.
When you have this many Puzzleknots, oh, the things you can do. So he misses, but here's another Marvel. Pay 6 more energy. Here we go again. 6 more cards. We see Tireless Tracker, Ishkana, Attune, Servant, no Emrakul, but this time he does have the Graph Widow.
Ishkana's solid.
Now swing from Jeff. Brad will take damage. He's blocking Grimflayer so that it doesn't get through. Jeff casts Transgress for nothing.
He doesn't want to get Emrakul and have to transgress himself.
Okay. Brad draws. He'll spend the last 6 energy of Aetherworks Marvel. And now there's an Emrakul in the top 6. Brad's going to go ahead and cast her in the 13-13. The promised end has arrived. And look at this, Brad, because of all these Puzzleknots, is actually still at 14. It feels like Jeff's just been hammering him with creatures each turn. And yet it doesn't matter. So now we go back. Jeff's turn played by Brad Carpenter. And this is why Jeff played the Transgress. Now we see it. There was an Emrakul in his hand, and he wanted to keep it. So a swing for 4 will put Brad down to 10. He actually did this on purpose because he wants to mess up Jeff's next draw.
Yeah, let Jeff have some of these Transgress the Mines, this land.
Yeah, it was Traverse, a land, and Transgress. And Brad, and this is neat, he says put the Transgress, Traverse in the graveyard, and then the other 2 cards, he doesn't tell Jeff what order he's putting them back in.
I think Jeff will figure it out in a second here.
Okay. All right. I just like that. So Grimflayer hits Brad down to 10. The Quagmire traded with Ishkana, and the Mandarak Demon was blocked by Emrakul. So Jeff has to play a tap land, plays Grimflayer, and passes. Now Brad gets another turn. He's going to crack a Puzzleknot, go to 13, go back up to 5 energy. Aetherworks Marvel is not done.
Not to mention that Jeff's on a 2-turn clock now that Brad is on tap with the Emrakul.
Yeah, Vessel of Nascency, the draw for Carpenter. He's going to go ahead and cast. And sacrifice it. That brings him up to 6 energy, so he can Marvel again if he needs to. Looks at top 4 rather, finds an Aether Hub. Plays it for 1 more, up to 7 energy.
I imagine we'll see an attack and Brad sit on the activation of Marvel for a little bit here.
And there's the swing, Hoogland down to 13. And it's a pass. We go back over to Jeff. 6 lands in play. 7th land, 6 card types in graveyard. He has his own Emrakul. Will Carpenter Marvel in response? Maybe he does it after. We will see. I assume he does something with the Marvel. He doesn't want Jeff to be able to use it. So Jeff passes. No attacks from the Grimflayers. And so Carpenter will spend the Aetherworks Marvel.
Now, Brad gave Jeff land Transgress.
You could have tried to Marvel for Transgress in Jeff's upkeep. And you see there's a Marvel under these cards for Brad. So he'll play the Attune with Aether. That was off Aetherworks Marvel. Brings him up to 3 energy, gets a Forest. Or make that a Swamp.
And Jeff will be able to use this Emrakul to eat Brad's Emrakul. Shouldn't be too much else that he can screw up for Brad here, of course, because Brad doesn't have a lot else going on. He can crack Puzzleknot and spin that Marvel there.
transgress the draw from Brad. That's a great draw if you're a fan of Hoogland's. He can have Brad transgress himself.
He has enough mana to transgress away the Emrakul and crack the Puzzleknot to spin away all of the Marvel energy. Yeah, this looks like this might be Jeff's game here, actually.
Yep, so here's the Aetherworks Marvel, top 6 cards. Lost Legacy. Now this is an interesting one.
If Jeff has some bad spell in his hand, he does have Transgress the Mind, so he can just use this as a redraw.
Well, he can... It's target player, not opponent, so he can have Brad Lost Legacy his own Emrakuls away.
Given that he already has Transgress and he can get rid of Emrakul, I suppose Lost Legacy deals with any potential Emrakul. It looks like he kind of has this locked up.
Well, the danger would be if Brad does something like draws
4th Puzzleknot.
Yeah, something like that. That might be the only card. So he's going to have Brad Lost Legacy himself, naming Emrakul the Promised End. So he's going to get the other ones. This will have Brad draw a card. There was one in his hand. Emrakul's trade. Brad gets an energy. He's up to 2. He's going to go ahead and transgress away his own Tireless Tracker. Now Brad gets his own turn. 2 down to 1 energy, I believe.
And those Puzzleknots there, they were only able to...
And Brad draws... Oh my gosh! Brad draws the 4th Puzzleknot? We were talking about this was his out, and he hits.
Yeah, Jeff's that Lost Legacy is certainly paying off here. Best Brad can really find is Ishkana.
Okay, so Jeff's going to traverse. He has Delirium. He can find... Well, we'll see. This was the draw that Jeff needed to avoid here.
Yeah, so in this game, Brad's had his Emrakuls all exiled, and also his Noxious Gearhulks were picked the brain earlier in the game as well.
He really doesn't have much, does he?
No, he's looking for Ishkanas and Tireless Trackers, and that's really about all that he's up to.
So Jeff goes ahead and traverses for Noxious Gearhulk, then attacks for 8. And the damage will hit in. Jeff's going to get to look. You make 2 Grimflayer triggers here. Keeps the card on top. Bins 2. Does it again. Looks like Ruinous Path is the card he kept on top. Now, Gearhulk could blow up a Grimflayer if Jeff wanted to gain more life. So Gearhulk's a play from Jeff, and he is going to destroy his own Grimflayer. That puts him up to 11.
All right, I like that.
Carpenter will go to 14, up to 7 energy. End step, he will likely Marvel. Does he even have something left? Sure, Ishkana was in the top 6. So he'll play the Graphoto. It was the best card he could hit. Here's 3 spiders that come alongside it. Rest of the cards on the bottom. Not out of the woods at all yet for Carpenter. Draw for turn. It's a copy of a tune. That's not going to get him high enough to do much.
He can't activate the Ishkana because it was a tune and not a land. It's not enough energy for him to start spinning the Marvel again.
Jeff Ruinous Paths away the Ishkana. Carpenter up to 4 energy.
Paying full retail to awaken and make this forest a 4/4 as well.
Jeff swings with the 5/4 Menace and the 4/4 Grimflayer. What he will do is chump 2 spiders so that he can spin Marvel again. Denies Jeff the Scry, so 6 more energy from Brad Carpenter. Vessel, Ishkana. He hits.
Brad,
I don't know if he has anything else left to hit.
Brad killed the suspense by showing the 3rd card as he found it as Ishkana.
He does have an activation from the spider. Is this lethal? Hold on. He's got 5 spiders in play. He's got 6...
Yeah, he got the 7th mana source, yeah.
No, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, Brad Carpenter. Yeah, he counts it up, and we're going to a game 3.
Wow.
And what was...
Okay, so after
Check-
game
okay,
one, we
hold
were
on.
saying that maybe Marvel doesn't push this matchup enough, but
This-
that game two, that was everything. It just
So he draws the fourth Puzzleknot, then his Marvel has to hit Ishkana, and then it has to hit Ishkana again. He only had 2 in his deck. They couldn't, so it's not just he has to hit 1 each time. If both Ishkanas are in the same 6, that's also bad.
he also had to find Emrakul earlier in the game. He wouldn't have had this position if he didn't do that.
Just everything checks boxes for Brad Carpenter there.